dash cam video. As dash cam, I'm using my iPhone 7. And no, Rant, I did not use electrical tape in this particular application. I am literally using 2 ponytail ties to make this dash cam out of my iPhone. Heading to Dawson Creek today. It's Hayes' least favorite day. The day when I go grocery shopping instead of going for a morning walk. Probably go for an afternoon walk any day. It's cool to be able to record the travel this season. And I can solve the music problem by bringing another device. The iPad could be supplying music, for instance. Using the car's Wi-Fi. Here's the irritating thing. This car has all the cameras that I would need to be able to film front and back and side views all at the same time. And the next model year after this car had an enabling switch and a recording device in the trunk that enabled you to do that. And it seemed to me, well, I'm nearly certain, I mean, I don't work at the factory or anything, but I'm nearly certain that's a plug-in adaptation. And I was quite distressed to find out that the Cadillac didn't have an option for me to upgrade to that. So I'd laugh if you've seen this phone that I'm using as such an important device in my current forays. Kind of hit the ground a little hard and the screen's all smashed to hell. But the wife got me this stick-on plate thing that, you know, made it usable again, so it's not lacerating my fingers as I'm using it. That was quite a while ago. It seems to be hanging in there pretty good. I've even dropped it since then. Apparently I haven't affected the camera function. So it looks like we're heading back into some form of lockdown in BC. And it's unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and say the things that the officials aren't wanting to say because, you know, they're worried about hurting people's feelings. The real reason that we're heading back into lockdown seems to me because of individual people's misbehavior. Individual people's in large numbers. I guess of the officials, Doug Ford's expressing openly some of how I feel about this. And it kills me to admit that I would be in any way aligned with Doug Ford. The sad fact is, Doug is right. There has to be some individual accountability. Like we can't pretend this is because our government didn't give us the right kind of rules and people didn't enforce the right kind of. This is individual bad behavior. We're going back into lockdown because of the behavior because of our behavior, because of how we act. It's inescapable, the alcohol factor. Although I do want to point out that up here in the Northern Health District, religious revival type events have likewise been at the center of breakout type activity. Alcohol and religion. Who knew? You think that they're opposites, but they have some similarities that you might not expect. News this morning, watching various different business owners being affected by the new return to lockdown status. And again, I'm hearing them call for the government to provide a working solution. But it's not up to the government to hand us anything. The government needs to look after the big picture. Business owners and managers need to look after their businesses and management, but even then, I don't think that there was a failure in BC, at least. I'm not sure about the inner details. Things appear to be going south for them in Ontario, and they're going back towards lockdown too. It isn't really that there's anything wrong with the rules as we had them. What's wrong is people's behavior. The rules say I'm allowed to go out, so I'm going to go out and get slobbering drunk and hang all over people. It's just sad. So it was good this morning to see Bonnie was at least heading down the path of calling out alcohol activities as a problem point that we're probably just going to have to clamp down on, the state clamp down on. She didn't say that, I'm saying that. I don't see it probable that people are going to grow up and start behaving themselves. I wish I felt different than that. I did feel different than that a month ago. Every time that we loosen up the rules a little bit, the first thing people do is run out and demonstrate that they weren't worthy of the trust. Do we got to become a medical police state? Now that's pretty sad if that's the limit of how much we can trust ourselves, each other, our society, I guess. In the end, we do each have to look at our own behaviors. It doesn't hurt to look at the behaviors of our social group as well. Because I think we all understand the most effective pressure there is. It's peer pressure. And we have to start taking accountability and responsibility, both. I don't want to be locked down forever. You don't want to be locked down forever. But the plague isn't just going to go away. To be completely honest, this stage of lockdown doesn't even really affect me very much. doesn't actually affect me at all, to tell you the truth. I don't do banquets, and we aren't nightclubbers, but there's a lot of people whose livelihood is being severely questioned. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of those people in the end are going to need to rethink their employment solutions. Because maybe some of this stuff isn't ever going to work out anymore. We don't know how long we'll be in the age of viral pandemic. We do know that the common cold has never been solved. We do know that COVID has more relationship to the common cold than it does to influenza. Viruses are big problems. Look how long AIDS has been with us. We've lived with pandemic situations before, and we knew how to manage it. You know, right now we're at the point of saying, well, you can't have big weddings and you can't have this. Well, you can. You know, what the officials don't want to tell you, because we live in the age of hurt feelings reports, and they're all afraid that you're going to, write to the whoever with your hurt feelings. They don't want to tell you that it's not the big wedding. It's that you can't keep your hands off each other. Nobody wants to just call that out. Yes, there is a problem with enclosed gatherings and our general poor attention to HVAC. But if you look at the places where things really go south, when there's alcohol involved and religion involved, what else is involved more heavily in those situations than any normal gathering, any business gathering, any meeting for any other purpose? Hugging, slobbering, yelling in each other's faces, jumping up and down. It's behavior. It's just behavior. I mean, really. You got to be able to figure that out. Here we are in beautiful Dawson Creek, BC. I do most of my grocery shopping in Dawson. One of the consequences, well, it should be a consequence anyway for most people, is if you retire 10 years before your wife, you should probably take over things like grocery shopping, dinner preparation, things of that nature. Well, that's some of the things that have changed in the Ryer household. Anyway, I like to come to Dawson to shop. I like the new store down here. And my doctor's down here, and I can gain all kinds of efficiencies by picking up my medications and seeing my doctor and taking care of things all at once. So, again, everything's a project in the end. Manage everything like a project, and it makes project management way easier. Gives you way more practice. Alrighty, we're fueled up. We've been to the grocery store, the butcher store, the liquor store, and of course the cannabis store. Bought gas. I'm not going to wash the car today because I don't need to. And we're going to head on back to Taylor from beautiful visit to Dawson Creek.